Sorry about that. Hello and welcome to PSA Live TV, bringing you the Cathay Pacific Credit Suisse Privilege World Open, live from outside the Hong Kong Cultural Centre. My name's Russell Flynn. Joining me today is Rodney Durbach, but for now, here's our very own Stato, Adrian Battersby, with a few words about the following match.
Welcome to the analysis of a second semi-final here between James Willstrop of England and David Palmer of Australia. Now this is a match that was a final just a week ago over in Qatar, and Willstrop winning 3-0 after only 42 minutes, 11-1, 11-7, 11-7. Quite a comfortable victory. And I think what was well reported at the time is that David Palmer had two really gruelling matches beforehand, beating Thierry Linkou 3-2, and then Gregory Gaultier in the quarter-final by 3-2. Whereas James's previous matches, well, he'd beaten Anthony Ricketts, who's no mean feat in himself, but it was 3-1, and so he had a game less there, and then he had a 3-0 win over Alex Goff in the quarter-final. So there's a little bit of difference between what happened in Qatar and what's happened here, because James Willstrop, of course, had a great victory over Jonathan Power yesterday, beating him by 3-1, and well, of course, David Palmer had yet another 3-2 victory, his fifth in a row by 3-2 over Anthony Ricketts in the quarter-final yesterday as well. So you've got to think that both players are pretty even Steven in terms of their fitness levels and how they're going to be working out today. If we look at the head-to-heads, well, they've played each other 5 times since '99, but in fact, well, 5 times since February 2004. Never played each other before then. And James got the upper hand over David Palmer, who was injured at that time at the Tournament of Champions. I remember watching that match over in New York. Palmer got a good revenge in the US Open in September, 3-0 there in Kuwait. The tournament that Palmer went on to win was 3-1. Pakistan, well, James was defending the Pakistan Open title there, but Palmer walked away with a 3-0 win, quite comfortable, 3-9 and 9. But of course, there's the result from last week, where James, who was ranked number 8 just a week ago, beat David Palmer 3-0 after only 42 minutes. Now, interesting to note, of course, that James is at his career high ranking. He hurdled from 8 to 2, which just shows how open the field is at the moment, and Palmer's down to number 4. Obviously he got the Qatar final under his belt, and also he was finalist in the US Open, so that's improved his ranking a little bit as to what it was beforehand. If we look at the next slide, basically this is James's 3rd World Open, and he's yet to progress past the quarter-final stage, losing to his nemesis Lee Beecher 3-0 in the quarter-final last year. And of course Lee went out to Amir Shabana in dramatic fashion yesterday. Looking at David Palmer's record in World Opens, well, he is a defending, not the defending champion, he is a past winner here. He won at 2002, beating John White in the final, but a loser to Shabana in 2003, who went on to win that title and then lost out to Beechel in a game that was filled with controversy, even on match ball. We all remember that, and that's if you want to watch that, that's on psalive.tv, and you can see that that match again. In terms of the rankings, well, you can see that David's always been ranked highly, and well, James only really started playing seriously since 2001 onwards, when he was in the world's top 150. By July he was in the top 100, and then by January 2003 he was in the top 50. And if we look at the final slide, where you see the last 3 years, you can see that he actually only made the world's top 20 in January 2004, and it was January 2005 when he jumped into the top 10. Now that slide finishes with James still below David on the ranking, but of course, because he won that Qatar Classic title just last week, he's now up to number 2. And there's a few people around with calculators at the moment, because if Thierry's got 2 tournaments that he's going to lose, and his reign as world number 1 could end in January 2006. And well, a good performance here from James. Thierry's already got, he's going to have quarter-final points. He went out yesterday to Peter Nicol. There's a feeling that James could be number 1 much sooner than a lot of people were predicting, which would be quite amazing for a man his age. Well, hope you enjoyed the match. I'm really looking forward to this myself. I'm actually in London, as you're probably aware, but I'm going to be watching this match using my mobile phone from London. I'll hand you over to Russell Flynn, who's at the harbour in Hong Kong.
Well, thanks for that, Adrian. As ever, we're all delighted to hear your voice, and I'm sure everyone's been missing you this tournament. So it's been great to have you a little bit at the beginning of every match. So let me introduce Rodney to everyone then. Hi, Rodney. This is is it your third game commentating for us? Your fourth. Sorry, you're better at keeping count than I am. Well, what do you think of this then? Sorry, apologies to everyone. I hadn't actually turned Rodney's mic on, so I'll start that again. Hello, Rodney.
Hi, Russ.
That's better. What do you make of this lineup then?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. It's a replay of the finals in Qatar last week, where James came along 3-love, really won that reasonably comfortably. Dave obviously looking to get the world title back and get some more wins under his belt. He doesn't have a great record against James the last couple of times they've played. James seems to have got the better of him, but he certainly will be up for it this match. As Adrian said earlier, he did have a couple of tough matches under his belt last time. A little more, probably feeling a little bit fresher this time round.
Okay, now underway.
Both players will probably just be feeling each other out at the beginning of this match. Dave coming up with a very attacking shot early on. This is a different court to the one they played against in Qatar. This is a Perspex court, so not quite as lively as the one in Qatar or the one in the Hong Kong Centre. Quite strange having a World Open and the guys have played on 3 different courts, which might have been the undoing of Peter Nicol earlier, not being able to adjust quick enough to the courts. And Amir Shabana really just loving this court. We'll see how James and David fare. Great length there by James. It's going to be crucial in this match to be getting a good length and good drop shots. Court's quite dead, so length is going to be very important to set up those winning points at the front end of the court.
So from what you know of these two players, are they both sort of the kind of players that will come out and attack from the beginning of a game, or do they spend sort of, at least half of the game just sort of settling in and seeing how things go? Or
I've played Dave more times than I've played James. Dave he's a power player. Hits the ball incredibly hard, very sweet, likes to stand on the tee and control the match from there. Just very powerful player, very strong, very quick. James, quite the opposite. I mean, he's very big. He's probably one of the tallest guys on tour. Got a nice reach, strong flick, and will keep Dave guessing, and probably be playing more shots than Dave, certainly at the beginning of the match. He's still young, so that fear factor hasn't creeped into his game yet. He's still going for his shots when they're there, and he's just up to number 2 in the world, just progressing it at a very high rate, just getting better and better all the time. Dave just closing the gap to 1 point. Dave making every effort to get out the way, thereby assuming that there's no stroke given to James. James getting a nice lead early on in this game. As in Qatar, these guys playing at a very high pace.
Just left. 6-4.
Hitting some good winners. Great shot there by Dave. Real power hitting here at the beginning of the game.
Someone on the chat room's asking, has Dave got his full complement of staff with him this time? I'm not sure what that means, but
he certainly does. He has his coach and his mentor, Sean Moxham, his coach, and Joe Shaw, his mentor, here with him. And I'm not sure if he'll have the use of the Australian coach with him tonight, as he's not playing in the Australian team next week at the World Teams, but he certainly has enough of his entourage with him, as does James. James has all the national coaches are here, 2 physios, so they'll be looking after these players very, very well. There'll be no fatigue, as what there was, as Dave was saying, in Qatar. James taking the lead 7-6.
There's someone on there saying that DP doesn't speak Belgian. I'm assuming you mean Flemish, or could even be French or German. I'm not sure which actual language the physio there speaks, but physios don't talk a lot, apparently. Not sure what you mean by that one, JW in the chat room there, but gave us a giggle anyway.
Yeah, not sure what John's talking about there. All the physios I know have quite a lot to say. Always trying to get you not to get on court too early, and all the players wanting to get on court really early. Dave a little unlucky to get a let there. James hit the ball back into the middle of the court. James clearly in his swing. As we were saying earlier, the reffing at this tournament has been quite exceptional. The refs have really done themselves proud at this World Open, even through the qualifying. There have been some very tight matches, and they've done very well.
I must admit, the few tournaments that I have been to, there's been very little backchat from the players. Obviously, the regular candidates have their few words to say, but from the other players, there seems to be very little questioning of the decisions.
Quite right. I'm not sure what the guys have been teaching them, but it's certainly done them good. You will unfortunately always get players who will backchat the referees, either to buy themselves a bit of time for a breather, try and regain their concentration, or simply just letting off a little steam. Unfortunately, the refs have to take the brunt for that, but the good ones don't seem to mind.
Yeah, I think it was Nick I was talking to in a match yesterday about I think it was John Power maybe playing a better game once he's psyched up, so mentally maybe sort of deliberately confronting refs just to give himself a bit of adrenaline.
Quite right, some of the players do that. John Power is a bit of a John McEnroe on court, whereas John McEnroe used to play a lot better once he started screaming at the referees. John Power seems to be able to do the same.
And of course it's great for the crowd as well, they seem to appreciate it.
He's very entertaining when he can go off his head sometimes, and that is very entertaining for the crowds.
Yes,
James still managing to keep that point advantage here in the first game as it comes up to 10 minutes. Scores 8-7.
Yes, left.
Yes, left. 8-7.
A lot of lets at the beginning of this game. In this first game, both players not really wanting to give much away. Shows the condition of the court as well. Ball coming out into the middle quite a bit. Great shot there by Dave. Real attacking stuff. That's what he needs to do in this match. Really needs to attack James, ask him some questions. See Dave very powerful over the tee area. Playing a good shot. James unfortunately not getting a let there.
No effort onto the ball. No let.
No let. 9-8.
Don't think you're going to make too much more effort there, Russ. Could have had Dave against the side wall.
So I managed to miss Dave's last 2 points
Yes,
there.
left.
Yes, left. 9-8.
Dave taking the lead for the first time in this game. 2 points away from the first game. Great burst there from James. Straight off the serve.
9-0.
Not giving Dave much chance there.
Dr. Palmer.
Palmer.
This time it's a stroke.
Hand up. 10-9.
It's one thing the players complain about is that the refs aren't very consistent. It seemed to be the same situation as before, but Dave gets a stroke this time to bring up the first game ball.
Yes, left.
Yes, left.
Another quick look at that.
Bit of a confrontation there at the front. James playing a drop,
10-9. Game ball.
not letting Dave in there. May have caught him a little bit in the calf. Great shot by Dave. Lovely drive there on the backhand side to take the first game.
Palmer is 1 game allowed.
James a little stranded. I was speaking to James earlier today. We were taking the ferry across. Said he was feeling pretty good. He'd been sleeping really well, so said he wasn't feeling any ill effects of the matches up until now, but he has had a lot of squash over the last couple of weeks. Winning a tournament before, flying straight over. So he might be feeling a little lagged in the first game, a little heavy, but I'm sure he'll be coming out and asking Dave some questions, playing some great shots, which he's more than capable of doing, to see what answers Dave can come up with.
Yeah, it's hard to tell really whether I think that game was sort of not slow, but it wasn't quick either. It was just sort of somewhere along the midline.
Both players probably a little reluctant to go out at full pace, knowing that it's very likely this game could go to 5. Just feeling each other out for quite some time. This court also not really conducive to real hard hitting, as you may have seen in the match between Amish Shabana and Peter Nicol. Peter really trying to strike the ball as hard as he can to get it to the back, but the court just playing against that really and playing into the shot maker's hands. So Dave probably trying to keep it away from Dave's racket, not giving him the angles, because James is a great shot player, and both players trying to keep it tight to avoid the other player going for the shot first.
What do you make of the temperature? Because I know we were talking the other day about how hot it would be over here, and I know we've had some very warm evenings, but sitting here at the back of the court is actually quite a cool breeze, and I'm sure that's affecting the players during the breaks, and also maybe cooling the court down a little.
Very much so, especially since they're not used to it, because we were playing indoors yesterday. There was not much air in the court, so a lot of people watching. It got very hot in the court, a lot cooler tonight, a lot of air around, so players, that will affect their play. It'll affect the length, the way they hit the ball, the way the ball behaves, and it's all these factors that the players have to take into consideration every time they go to hit a ball, where it's going to go and what it's going to do.
And of course, all glass this time as well.
Well, Russell, it's actually not a glass court. This is a perspex court.
I stand corrected.
Which plays differently to the court that was indoor in Hong Kong. That was a glass court. The ball coming off a lot quicker off the glass. Perspex absorbing a lot of the energy of the ball, so the ball coming off a lot slower. Sounds different to when you play on the glass. You'll hear, if you watch any of the replays from Qatar, you'll hear that sound coming off the glass. This one a lot flatter.
Someone's just mentioning on the chat room about our front view. That was actually a very last-minute camera. We'd only got the back camera, which I'll show you now, the main camera which we normally use. And about 10 minutes before the first match started, we were desperately trying to find a spot for the other camera, and we actually managed to gaffer tape it to the back of the stands and gaffer tape some tables up the side of the stands, some cables rather up the side of the stands to get that shot. And it's I think it's turned out quite well. With the every now and again you'll get a boat going past, you'll see the lights in the background, and you can just about see the Hong Kong city skyline in the background, so it's quite a nice shot.
Palmer serving out 1-1 in the second game. Both players still not giving anything away. Match staying very tight. Lovely trickle burst there from James to take that point. Really getting Dave on the back foot. Held him nicely. Great shot, James.
So you think this one's going all the way to 5 games then?
I wouldn't put it past either of these players. I think straight to Dave. James going for the nick, just catching the wall and then popping out. I think fitness will tell in this match. How much work the players do in the game is going to have a big effect on the result. James is a big lad, and with the court being a little bit deader, Dave probably can move James a lot closer up to the front of the court and a lot deeper at the back. But saying that, James is a better shot maker than Dave, so he should be able to hit more winners. I don't think either of these players are unfit. Having got to where they've got to in the world, you don't get that way in squash without being real super fit.
I think it would be difficult to call anyone in maybe the top 100 unfit.
Squash just seems to create great athletes. Does the game of squash? A lot of these players will play other sports probably to a very high standard as well, just because of the athleticism that they have.
I've actually been quite tempted this week to start playing myself.
Yes, left, yes, that.
Like I said, I've never picked up a squash racket in my life, and I might just be tempted.
Well, we could get you on this this all glass court here. See if we can see what you can see what it's like.
You'll
Give you a whole
play with the racket tied to your ankle and both hands tied behind your back, then, yeah?
Give you a whole new view on commentating for the game.
Absolutely.
4-3. Yes, left, yes, that. 4-3.
Still not much in this match. James leading 4-3.
Down. 5-3.
How long do you think before Dave has a sweat dive?
I think it's still a bit early in the match for that. James opening up a gap here, going 6-3 up. Dave needs to get back to some positive squash.
Do you think there are any players that are able to sort of just play every point without thinking of the score? So, you know, 9-0, you know, 5-all, doesn't matter, they're just playing the next point. Is there anyone you know that can sort of mentally block that and sort of just get on with it?
No. I think you're always thinking about the score. It has a big effect as to how you play. Whether you're attacking a bit more, defending a bit more. A lot of players have different ways of dealing with it. Some players obviously better than others. A lot of players, when they get quite a lot up, they tend to relax a bit. If you get quite a way down, you feel you've got nothing to lose, so you relax a bit. Probably play a little better. It changes all the time, and the score does have a big influence as to how you play. Lovely drive there from James.
7-3.
It's 5 points in a row now for James.
Possibly just a little slow to start, but soon getting into his rhythm. Great big ball from James. Uh-oh. They might be coming our way. In fact, that could be in the river.
Both players looking very dumbfounded in that shot.
I think that ball is definitely in the river. We're going to need a new ball now. James about to take his shirt off and go after it.
It's like the conversation we had about breaking the racket, just so that you could get yourself a new one. I wonder if a player that wants a new ball is allowed to just sort of bash it into the local river.
Well, probably not on purpose. I mean, if he did it on purpose, the ref might have something to say about that.
Of course, if you're Dave Palmer, you just burst it.
Yes. Maybe this new ball will kickstart Dave again. Got a few points to make up.
And 4-7.
Does that point actually go to Dave then, did it?
Yeah, James hit it out the back of the court. James serving at 4-7.
Correction, the ball is right there, left, please.
Oh, referee changing his mind there. Not sure about that, Russ. How do you see that? Above the line?
I lost the plot of it there, I'm afraid.
New ball, possibly a little quicker through the air, suiting Dave to start with. 5-7.
Yes, left.
Left. 5-7.
Ouch. James getting the let, having to turn on the ball. Dave in the way. Nice cross ball from Dave, perfect width, straight in the nick at the back of the court.
From 6 points down, there's now only trailing one.
Introduction of a new ball can do that.
And 8-6.
I suppose the slight interruption as well gives the player a chance to compose himself and sort of relax and
That's right. Get his thoughts back together again. Get his game plan back online. See if Dave can close the gap even more. Oh, lovely shot there from Dave. Beautiful cross court. See it better from this angle. Not giving James a chance. Narrows the gap to one again.
Palmer. 8-all.
Palmer serving now 8-all, having levelled the match with a stroke. James needs to be careful here. Certainly doesn't want to go too low down.
I'm not entirely sure what happened there.
Oh, a let there. I'm not sure that was really Dave's fault.
Just sort of turned around and Dave just seemed to be stood right where he was going.
It was a good shot as well. But a let called, a let played.
Left. 8-all.
Dave serving at 8 all. One of the few unforced errors we've seen James make tonight. Dave 2 points away from going 2-love up. Even the boats are appreciating the squash.
Yes, left. Left.
Dave again making every effort to clear.
Yes, left. Left.
Power hitting there from Dave again. Not quite taking his first opportunity there. Lovely shot from James off the serve. Leveling it at 9-all. Second game getting very tight.
I think I'd like to see James win this one. As much as I'd like to go to bed this evening, I think this could be a great match if it goes to 5 games.
Another unforced
Maybe
error
not
from
like that.
James. Possibly just a little lapse in concentration. Going for a shot, maybe should have waited a little bit longer. James early on in the tournament did come back from 2-love down against his fellow countryman Nick Matthew. So even at 2-love down, still a long way from over. Dave. Oh, great shot there from James.
Time breaker. Players win by 2 clear points.
Takes us to our first tiebreaker. In the tiebreaker, player needs to lead by 2 clear points
Yes, left.
to win the game.
10 off. Yes, left. Left. 10 off.
Match is now over half an hour long. This could be a long one, Russ.
Right, let's go and get some coffees from Starbucks.
I think the local Starbucks has seen a lot of squash players this week.
Yes, left. Left. 10 off.
I was actually quite lucky to find today because it's one of the places where I can get vegetarian food. Had a nice cheese and spinach pie at lunchtime.
I saw one of the other players having that and not looking best pleased with it.
Well, beggars can't be choosers.
11-10. Game ball.
Dave this time returning the favour with an unforced error to give James his first game ball.
Yes, left. Left.
Not sure if Dave agreed with that one.
11-10. Game ball.
Lovely shot there from Dave.
Yes, left. Left.
James getting the net ball.
11-10. Game ball.
Lovely bit of deception there from Dave off the serve. Really getting James faking down the wall and going cross court. Lovely shot. To level it up at 11-all. Both players being very careful now, not wanting to make the mistake. Again, a lovely length there from Dave on this court. Really get rewarded for a good length here. Real power hitting as well. Going back across and just too fast for James. Gives Dave his second game ball to go 2-love up.
Yes, left. Left.
Not many winners in that front corner. A lot of lets. Both players getting in there really quickly, knowing how dead the court is. Oh, what a great shot from Dave to win that game. One of Dave's trademark shots. That cross-court nick. Having thought he'd won at the point before, just making sure. Dave Palmer leads the semi-final 2-love. A long way back for James, but he's done it before. I'm sure he'll be well up to the task.
I'm not sure if Adrian was here, he'd give us the lowdown on how many times James had been down 2 games and then come back to win 3-2. Unfortunately, I don't have that information. Noticed earlier on in the chat room someone said that it wasn't that warm here. I'd have to disagree. I actually got sunburnt today. It's maybe not warm compared to some places in the world, but considering the day before I flew out it was snowing in Birmingham. It was very difficult not to bring a coat here. And of course Saudi Arabia in a couple of weeks, maybe pushing another 5 degrees on top of this as well. So.
Yes, and without it being muggy as well, so it'll be really warm out there. Hopefully courts will be air conditioned.
I know if I haven't actually looked into it. Is it an outdoor court there or is it indoor?
I have no idea. I have heard that it is looking spectacular, but I was not told if that was indoors or outdoors.
15 seconds.
Right, James on court, having changed his shirt. Now players looking similar. James with a white headband.
Has that just appeared? Not sure I noticed that before.
No, he's just put that on. Changed his shirt as well.
Is there any requirement for players to be distinguishable if they're sort of...
There is really. I'm not sure why these players are dressed in white and black. As far as I know, players should make themselves different from each other, with the higher ranked player having the preference to what he would like to wear.
Do you think maybe the headband is a step in the direction of that rule?
Well, Good start from James. Dave not seeing that boast. I hope Dave doesn't start relaxing now that he's 2-love up. James certainly will be upping his game. He certainly doesn't want to lose this. Dave really needs to stay sharp, hitting that ball nice and tight, leaving it at 1-all. James with that unforced error, giving Dave the lead, 2-1 here in Hong Kong. These players playing for a final berth to play against Amir Shabana, who earlier beat Peter Nicol relatively comfortably, 3-love. Playing really, really well on these courts, really finding his form. Dave hitting a good winner there, he got 3-1 up. Had a great shot there from Dave. James looking a little slow at the start of this third game. Really needs to pick up the pace a bit. Dave moving James to the front quite a bit in this game so far. Perhaps sensing that James is a little bit sluggish. Oh, lovely shot, lovely shot. James possibly should not have played that ball.
5-1.
Could have got a leg for it. Really making an effort to go around Dave and paying the price. Dave opened up a substantial lead. 5-1. Dave hitting a 10 on that one.
2-5.
Glimmer of hope for
James, yeah.
James.
This game of squash throws up a lot of surprises. Most people would have put James to be winning this comfortably after his last couple of performances against Dave. But as you know, it's anybody's on the day.
3-5.
James serving at 3-5 down. Who knows what this match still has to offer.
Just like that. 3-5.
Some lovely touch shots going up front there. Not sure what happened there to Dave's ankle. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, we can look.
Just like
Have to go further back.
Yeah, we'll bring that one back in a minute, I think. Actually, no, I think this is the... yeah, I'll find that for you in a minute.
Dave taking his time, making sure he's okay. Quite the right thing to do. Going to get the court swept as well. This might give us a chance to have a look at that replay. See what happened. Some lovely touch shots going into the front there. That's a few points before. Players ready to play. James serving at 3-5. drop shot there from James. Closing that gap to 1 point.
4-5.
Dave might be thinking a little bit of that ankle. Not going to the front on that shot. Can't afford to show any weaknesses yet.
Okay, I'm determined to show you this replay now.
Right, here we go. Oh, Dave just kicking James's foot on the way through there, quite by accident.
You got that in the end.
And 5-6.
James serving at 5-6. Dave making a few errors now. Concentration might be a little off. Really needs to sort that out if he wants to close this match out 3-love. Game really tight again, as all 2 games before it.
Yeah, apologies to those of you that are listening and complaining about the Christmas concert. Unfortunately, the court mic is picking up the, I'm not sure if it's a local boat or some disco nearby that's got the loud music going. So your mate complaining again there, I think.
It's coming close to Christmas, in the Christmas spirit.
7-6.
James taking the lead now. Come back nicely in this game. A fierce competitor is James. Really doesn't like to lose. Dave not looking the same since that collision at the back of the court. Trailing now by 2 points.
Do you think maybe in this situation Dave will be happy to take it easy and let this game slide and give himself a break, or would he be pushing to?
I think he'd be pushing to try and finish this 3-love. You know, if you give James a game, there's no telling what sort of state the ankle's going to be in. So probably try and win it and get off as soon as you can.
Try and push through it and hope to recover before tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too bad. Although he's moving around fine, so it shouldn't be a problem. Maybe just playing on his mind a little. Lovely shot there. James getting the leg. James playing really well now to come back into this match. Dave reading that cross court, hitting it straight back at James, levelling the game with 8-all. Well, there we have 2 dives from Dave in 1 point. Great effort. Nice dive to the front. So Dave's going to have something to say about that call in another rally. Both players taking their time after that rally. Court getting swept. James serving 9-8 up. Oh. I think Dave caught James on that cross court. Getting the stroke because of it. Nine all. 2 points away from a World Open final. James trying to stay in this match. Bit of a bully there, Dave. Really taking his space, playing to the open court, giving himself match ball. Could he close it out here? Great backhand volley there from James over his shoulder. We're into our second tie break. Very well played point there from Dave, getting some stunning length, forcing James to play off the back wall. It's getting very exciting. Dave gets his second match ball for a 3-love win over the new world number 2, James Willstrop. And he's done it with a 3-love win over James Willstrop, reversing the score from the finals in Qatar to make the World Open finals here in Hong Kong. Well played, Dave Palmer, and lucky James Willstrop.
I'm sorry I went quiet for a little while there. Right towards the end of that match, people were having problems on the live viewing. I would imagine it's because the press are going into a frenzy. It's normally the case. So what do you make of the final then?
Well, it's going to be very interesting on there. Shabana against Dave Palmer, World Open final. It's going to be one hell of a match. Shabana obviously liking this court very much, as he showed earlier today. Dave not having too many problems, also coming through 3-love. So I don't think fatigue is going to play a part in the final. I just think it's going to be a fantastic final.
Well, I look forward to it, and I'm not sure who we've got lined up for commentary just yet, but I'm sure Malcolm is on the case to find me somebody. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Let's thank you very much, Rodney, again for joining us. 4th time.
It's a pleasure, Ash.
And good night from Hong Kong.
Good night.